Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we visited the Majdanek concentration camp, very close to Lublin, one of the places that witnessed Nazi barbarity during World War II. And if you like our video, do not forget to like it, subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when we upload a new video. Located on the outskirts of Lublin, the idea for the construction of this camp began during the visit of SS Chief Heinrich Himmler to the city on June 20th and 21st, 1941. He ordered the construction of a large concentration camp with a capacity of up to 50,000 prisoners, and construction began in October 1941 with the arrival of 2,000 Soviet prisoners of war, marking the start of its macabre history of extermination, until it was liberated by Soviet forces on July 24, 1944. During that period of time, it is estimated that around 500,000 people passed through the Majdanek camp, of which 360,000 died, 60% due to the living and working conditions in the camp, and 40% were murdered in gas chambers or executed by alternative methods such as mass shootings. Entry to this place is free, and you can visit either freely or with a guide, with several informational panels available along the route of the field, which we begin next to the great monument to the struggle and martyrdom, erected in 1969 in memory of the victims of the field. The main part of the monument alludes to the gate of hell from Dante's Divine Comedy, and in front of it, a concavity symbolizes the abyss of the camp. This monument is located where the original entrance gate to the camp was, to which trains did not go directly. They brought prisoners in cattle cars to Lublin, where, escorted by SS soldiers, they walked approximately 1.5 kilometers to the entrance of the camp. From the entrance gate of the camp, and along the so-called Black Road, they arrived at the place where they were to be selected, passing by the SS sector, where both the camp command offices and the SS General Headquarters and the Guards Barracks were located. Traveling along the Black Road, we arrived at the entrance of the prisoner camp, bordered by a double fence of electrified barbed wire and 19 guard towers, of which some are still preserved. To the right, first of all, we find the men's bathroom, at one end of which are the gas chambers. Until the spring of 1942, the camp had only one well and lacked basic sanitary facilities, until the construction of these bathrooms. Prior to their entry into the baths, the men had been stripped of their clothes and belongings in another barrack, from where they were taken naked by the SS to the bath, where their heads were shaved as a form of stigmatization, and to use the hair as material for making felt and thread. After cutting their hair, they were taken to the showers, which they would rarely use again during their stay in the camp, and after the shower, they headed to the barracks to begin their torment in the camp. From the showers, they would go to the changing room, where they would dress in clothes that had previously been disinfected with Zyklon B. As we were saying, next to the men's bathroom are the gas chambers, where prisoners selected for extermination were killed with Zyklon B gas. The selection was carried out in a small outdoor clearing called the Rose Garden, where the medical staff and the SS decided who should live and who should die. Behind the men's bathroom is the women's bathroom, where during the bathing and disinfection process, they endured a very degrading experience, undressing in front of the SS men, being subjected to disinfection of their intimate parts, and even personal searches. For Jewish women, it was even worse, as after an initial selection upon arrival, a second selection took place in the baths, where German doctors and supervisors chose their fate. Exiting the women's bathroom, on one side we find the Rose Garden, where the selection of Jewish prisoners took place, and from where those considered unfit for work, such as children, the elderly, and the sick, were sent directly to the gas chambers. We continued our tour through the warehouses and workshops, where the more fortunate prisoners worked indoors. In this area, we can visit barracks 43 and 44, which served as storage for the prisoners' belongings. In Barrack 44, we find the exhibition Lublin under German occupation, featuring a collection of 10 information panels that describe the history of the places around Lublin that played a fundamental role during the German occupation of the city, which was chosen as the headquarters for the operation to exterminate Jews in the so-called general government, an administrative unit created by the German dictator in the central areas of Poland that had not been annexed to the Third Reich. Next to this barrack, we find Barrack 43, where we can see the exhibition Majdanek, Past and Present, where we can see archival photographs taken on the campgrounds during the occupation, and contemporary photographs of the same places, a chronology of the prisoner camp, and a large aerial photograph and the map of the camp in 1944. We kept walking and very close we found Barrack number 47, where we found a multimedia exhibition, which includes a symbolic visual composition made up of barbed wire balls, a commemorative book, a piece of oratory, prisoners' memoirs, and prayers from Poles, Jews, Russians, and Romani people. In front of this exhibition in Barrack 62, we find the exhibition The Prisoners of Majdanek, located where the former camp shoemaking workshop used to be. In this exhibition, which evokes the history and memories of the prisoners, and where the individual stories and fates of some of them are recounted, in addition to many original documents and objects, the exhibition includes a collection of testimonies from former prisoners of the camp. We went outside again, and in Barrack 52, we found an exhibition of shoes confiscated from Jews during Operation Reinhardt, an operation aimed at the annihilation of Jews in the general government, the exploitation of some selected Jews to temporarily survive by performing forced labor, or the seizure, evaluation, and recycling of clothing, personal belongings, valuables, and coins taken from Jews murdered in extermination camps. Next, we visited Barrack 55, where the exhibition They Arrived at the Ghetto and Went into the Unknown is displayed. In 20 panels, it presents the genesis and development of Operation Reinhardt, from the first deportations from Lublin to the Belzec extermination camp, to the Action Erntefest or Harvest Festival, when on November 3, 1943, special SS units and police sent to Lublin executed 18,000 Jews on the outskirts of the camp. At least 8,000 of the victims were prisoners from Majdanek, and the other 11,000 were people who were forced to work in other camps or prisons in the city of Lublin. During the operation, loud music was played over loudspeakers throughout the camp to drown out the noise of the mass murder. After recalling this massacre, we entered Field 3, one of the camps into which Majdanek was subdivided, where several barracks have been preserved or reconstructed. In two of these barracks, numbers 14 and 15, we can see the living conditions of the prisoners, which recreate the interior of the barracks during the time when the camp was operational. At one end of Field 3, we find the column of the Three Eagles, built during the existence of the camp in 1943, and whose pretext for construction was that the camp authorities aspired to decorate the prisoner camps, taking advantage of the aforementioned prisoners during its construction to place a container with the ashes of the prisoners, thus serving as the first monument in honor of the camp's victims. Leaving Field 3 and taking an ascending path towards the crematorium, we come across a series of informational panels, where we are educated about the German system of concentration and extermination camps, the number of prisoners and victims, or the location of the various camps within the Third Reich. Finally, we began the route that the bodies of the murdered prisoners took to the crematorium, located near the barracks of the hospital in Field V. Built with brick at the bottom and wood at the top, the crematorium began operating in late 1943, until on July 22, 1944, during the final liquidation of the camp, the SS soldiers set fire to the building along with the bodies of the last victims. The crematorium was composed of 12 rooms, with a central hall where a set of 5 furnaces for burning corpses was located. In an adjacent room, we found the remains of 2 carts used for transporting bodies, and the furnace of a crematorium located between Fields 1 and 2, where up to 100 corpses could be burned per day, and which served temporarily until the construction and commissioning of the new crematorium. In a darker and more sinister room, the bodies of the murdered prisoners were stored before their cremation, although before that, in another room, the corpses were desecrated, their dentures stolen or their gold teeth extracted. After the liberation of the camp, a Polish Soviet commission began investigating the crimes that had been committed, and a report was published. However, only a small number of the 1,300 camp staff were brought to trial, with a dozen death sentences and 100 prison sentences being handed down. Currently, it is one of the best preserved concentration camps, and since the majority of those killed in the gas chambers were Jews, many of whom were taken to the chambers shortly after arriving at the camp, some historians consider Majdanek to be an extermination camp and not just a concentration camp. And on a rainy and sad day like this, we conclude the visit, although in the afternoon another place with a similar but very unknown significance awaits us.